On this video, I am going to identify the symptoms of a trauma disorder. Then I will give you 2 tips to begin addressing and healing your trauma. Trauma is an experience that falls outside of the realm of everyday human experiences and would be troublesome to almost anyone. There are 3 criteria to define psychological trauma. First, it's unexpected. Second, you were not prepared. Third, you have a sense of helplessness. There was nothing you could do to prevent it from happening. That's trauma. 2 people can have the same exact experience. One is traumatized and the other does fine. Traumatized indicates the brain processed the event differently than normal. When we experience high emotion during a traumatic event, the language part of the brain turns off. When we talked about stress in the other video, we talked about the brain decides what it's going to turn off when we are stressed. When we are traumatized and we are experiencing a heightened level of emotion, this may prevent you from being able to communicate the experience in words. Have you ever had that experience when you just couldn't get the words, couldn't find the words to express what was going on or how you felt? Or you may provide an inaccurate narrative of the event because that part of your brain, the language part, was turned off. And your brain may fill in the gaps. And it is probably inaccurate, wrong. You may not be able to verbalize it, but you can feel it all on the inside because our bodies maintain an emotional memory. Not like our brain. Our body has an accurate memory from the moment you were born. These experiences get stuck in our system. Remember, I told you we are a system, mind, body, and spirit. So this experience gets stuck with irrational thoughts, emotions, and physical symptoms. Think of it this way. If a large animal or monster or a large person, strong, took your body and threw it into the wall, we all would know you were not okay and need some type of treatment. At least my body would not be okay, and I definitely would need some type of treatment. Well, when we are psychologically traumatized, that is what happens to our mind and our emotions. Many are just not aware of the damage because you can't see it like a physical assault. But when you are psychologically traumatized, you may act like something is wrong with you. People may ignorantly say things like, she's schizophrenic, or he's bipolar. And the truth is that something bad happened to you. For children, people interpret this as part of their developing personalities, as opposed to trauma. When we fail to heal from the experience, it is not integrated into our past as simply a bad experience. These events get frozen in time. They live on. If it becomes a disorder, we relive it through memories, flashbacks, or emotional triggers. And we avoid anything associated with it. We also may feel disconnected from others or like we won't live long. We notice that we are experiencing arousal that wasn't there before, like difficulty sleeping or concentrating, easily agitated or startled or feeling shaky. Events that occur with strong emotion are not filed away in the memory as those with little or no emotion. Think of boring and exciting. You remember exciting easier. The same in regards to trauma. Trauma is a heightened emotion, so our system remembers it. And each time that we focus our memory on remembering it over and over, we cement it stronger and stronger in our system. Something you see, hear, touch, smell, or taste can trigger a trauma response. A current trigger in the 5 senses can cause a person who has been traumatized to act and feel as if they are reliving something from the past. However, they may not know that is what's happening. They just know that this makes them feel really uncomfortable. Watch my videos number 6 and 7, which discusses the impact of stress on your body. Trauma incites a more intense experience of the stress response. So what do? The research indicates that most of us have experienced at least one trauma by the age of 18. Did it overwhelm or negatively impact your development or functioning? If you were a child, the assumption is always yes. Because of your development, you were not fully developed to be able to manage this. No matter how much we tell ourselves that we were strong and we did well, we may have done well, but we're not okay. And so this may have happened 20 years ago, 30 years ago. You still need to deal with that trauma and get some healing. When we are in tune with ourselves spiritually, sometimes we believe that is the solution. No, it's not the solution. It's the start. Remember, we are a system made up of spirit, mind, and body. Our spirit is connected to our source of life, so that's where we start, with our life. Like in the intensive care unit, when there is a physical problem, you are dependent on the devices and the people to keep you alive. Then, depending on the damage and the problem, they move to your thinking and your body. If you're on life support, then you're taken off of the life support and you're given the opportunity to thrive by yourself, to survive and live by yourself. Then they move to your thinking. You may be referred to a therapist to deal with your mind and your emotions. Then they move to your body, walking maybe, and moving your arm or doing things with your body. The focus is holistic healing in your whole system, your mind, your body, and your spirit. The same is true for psychological trauma. You must do the work in your whole system. When our minds don't heal, it can negatively impact some or every part of our being and our lives, our relationships, our job, everything. So what do? First, acknowledge it. Often we don't want to state out loud that we were traumatized or overwhelmed. You may need to take a moment and go through your life, back to your childhood. Think about it. Did something happen to me that I pushed to the side, that I didn't talk about? Or when I talked about it, people acted like it was nothing, or people told me to get over it. Think about it. Say it now. I was traumatized. I was overwhelmed by fill in the blank. I was traumatized by that. Or something really bad happened to me and it harmed me. We may want to think that we were too strong to be overwhelmed or traumatized. That's unfair to yourself. Trauma indicates it would be troublesome for most of us. You're not a Superman or a Superwoman. You're just human. A lot of those experiences were not supposed to happen to humans, but the world and life have caused us to have experiences that we were not designed to have. A note on sexual abuse. If your sexuality was turned on by someone or something without your consent, or before you were old enough or mature enough to understand and give your consent, you were sexually abused. It doesn't matter what your gender is. That is abuse. And if you did not get treatment, how has that influenced and impacted your life? It did. The question is how? The question is not did it. The question is how did it impact your life? The Adverse Childhood Experiences Study discusses the impact of traumatic experiences in childhood on your development and how that has long-term effects on your life in a number of areas. I have included a link to a few short YouTube videos on this topic. Watch and learn. The more we know, the better we can respond and be healthy and live healthy lives. The second thing we can do to begin to heal is to breathe. Breathing is the source to healing every area of our life. Watch my videos 2 through 5 on breathing, the importance, how to do it properly, positions, and then a guided relaxation. Trauma is big. I am making this video during COVID-19 and the demonstrations throughout the world against racial tension in the United States. How has this topic affected you? If you have experienced this or something else that overwhelmed your functioning, be patient with yourself and seek help from a therapist. Yes, I am a therapist and I am here, but I am not there with you, and you will greatly benefit from making a connection with a good therapist. Do the research and make that connection. Well, that was an intensive video on trauma. Nonetheless, I've enjoyed our time together. If you have too, share this video. If you haven't already, click the subscribe button below and come back. It's free. And click that bell down there, I think it's over here, and you will receive notification when I upload the new video. Until next time, live healthy in your whole being, your mind, your body, and your spirit. Bye-bye.